Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Project Ozone. So, since the last episode, I went ahead and built out the casings, some of the glass, and some of the easy components of the remainder of the turbines, and I did get that second turbine set up for the most part. The only thing is we have to set up the fluid ports, which we're going to wait, like I said, until we get energy storage, energy transfer sorted this episode. Now, I have left it running. We're up to 8,717 cyanite. And plutonium, I ran a bit of that. We have 407 plutonium right now. So we're pretty well squared away on that stuff for the time being. However, on my Discord, Xavian pointed out that if you look here, there's actually a singularity for plutonium as well as cyanite. So that's going to be a concern very, very soon because honestly, after this episode, we can start dire crafting, which is going to be it's going to be a thing. Now, I know this episode is actually a world download, so assuming that we get the energy storage, energy transfer done, there will be a world download. If something happens and we don't get the energy storage and energy transfer sorted this episode, which I don't foresee happening, but just in case, what I'll do is I'll probably postpone the world upload until the following episode, just so you guys have the new energy system set up and running, you know, if you want to take a look at it. All the turbines won't be done by any stretch of the imagination because I don't have nearly enough Temperio essence. I have 290 right now. And as far as Demon Steel, I think I've got one high-level one left. It's a 7th magnitude. It's past the reactor stuff. That was just the one that was created during the process of working through the quest. Now, I do have a few quests here that are completed. We're going to go ahead and turn those in before we get started. First up, in Delta. Photovoltaic cell, I went ahead and made one of these because it's such an easy quest. I'm not really using it. Can't remember, did I put it? No, I just dumped it in the system. I'm not really using it. I mean, it's like 160 RF or something like that. It's minimal. And then also these augments, I went ahead and made these because I did a little bit of work on the ore processing area, just basically speeding some stuff up and everything. All we get from this is a chance cube. Very minimal quest. We did get a good reward bag from that solar panel, though. Fleeting stone gives high steps. Companion. There we go. Man's best friend. Which basically gives us, if I recall correctly, it gives us step up. So, oh, there we go. We got a fleeting wisp. Which we've already got Sojourner Sash. Which I need to upgrade that at some point, but I just haven't got around to it. Anyways, moving on, in Ada, I went ahead and made the gas importer. So that quest is done. And we get a good reward bag from that. Seed storage, irrigation, of course. I gotta move that. And then lastly, over here, whoops, in Iota, our spaceship. So that's done. And I'll go ahead and snag that. And it should be fueled. By the way, it looks awesome. It looks awesome. I went ahead and set it up so it would start fueling. Epic reward bag, aerial faith plate, longfall boots. Awesome. So basically a bunch of stuff we don't really need. Anyways, today, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to head to Neptune. Now, I need to go pick up... where did I leave my digital miner? Okay, so let's head on over to Uranus. Couldn't remember where I left it. Getting all my planets mixed up here. Alright. Oh, he's taking damage because of the atmosphere. Well, too bad for you. Okay. Let me go ahead and snag this. And let me clean all this up. Because we're going to take this with us to Neptune. Alright. And then let's head back over to the overworld. And we are going to set off for Neptune. So, the crashing, you'll notice the crashing has stopped since I removed that other mechanism teleporter. I was debating how I want to set up. I actually went over to the asteroid belt. I haven't actually started building. I also went over to Uranus for a little bit earlier because I was figuring out kind of where I want to build the bases there. By the way, this is the rocket. It's epic looking, right? Looks so awesome since they changed it over. It has these like thrusters on the side and stuff. Anyways, it's fully fueled. Let's go ahead and launch. Oh no, it's like mega shaking. Anyways, figuring out kind of where I want to set up those bases and stuff like that. And we are off. Because I figure fairly soon we're going to start the prison. Fairly soon. I will say, I don't know why it's so shaky. Maybe it's a bug with the new exoplanets. Because, I mean, they changed the way these rockets and stuff look a lot better, but it may be something to do with that. I don't know. Okay, so anyways, we are headed to Neptune. Let's go ahead and launch to there. By the way, we've got... Okay, yeah, I think our thermal padding is good. Alright. Now you'll notice that Neptune is all liquid nitrogen. It's all liquid nitrogen on its surface. No, where did my... There we go. Don't want to lose that. So, very, very interesting. It's going to be a bit of fun setting up a base here. Let me grab a little bit of this stuff. Just so I can kind of build something. Let's see, Neptune stone. Okay. I'm just going to kind of build that up right there. That way I can set the quantum entangloporter above the water, above the liquid nitrogen. And we'll set the... Oh no, I took the teleporter from Uranus. Whoops. Okay, that's fine. I'll have to do something there. I'll have to go back there. That's okay. So we're going to set up a teleporter here then. We're going to say that this is Neptune. Lock that in. That poor guy's just going to die. Well, no, he keeps coming back with health, so, alright. That works. And we'll put on our chunk loader, like right... let me build this out just a little bit here. I'll tell you what. Got this. Let me grab cobble. Okay. We're going to bring that out just a little bit. We'll set up our digital miner right here. And ender chest there. Conduits. Just like that. So that's got power. I am going to have to set up the filters for it right now. Because as of right now, it's still set to Uranus's filters. So, I guess the first course of action is going to be finding some blue gems. Is that the only thing on Uranus? There's... I mean, not Uranus, Neptune. Neptune has iron, tin, copper, blue gem. Yeah, that looks to be everything. So, alright. Let's go ahead. What we'll do is we'll just drop down. Actually, now that I think about it, I should have done this a little bit differently, but that's okay. That liquid should stop flow. Yeah, right there. Alright, let's see if we can find some blue gem ore. And then we'll go off. I guess we'll go ahead and do the dungeon while we're here, while we're doing Neptune. One of these days, we're going to find a blue gem ore. I don't know, we're at like Y level 14. I'm going to start digging out, because we should be... Would you get out of my way? I think I'm not going to like that thing. Before long. Okay, I'm not really interested in the copper and iron. That's not something that... I thought about, like, well, I could set that up into filters so it was processed. No, I'm just going to throw it on the ground. Like, I don't really have any use at all for it. Actually, since I have the ore dictionary, that might actually get the stuff. I don't know. Probably. But really, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not really concerned with it. Honestly, it looks like there could be a dungeon up here. Either a dungeon or a cave system. That's kind of what I'm digging towards at this point. Because if we dig straight into a dungeon, that'll be okay. Or if it's a cave system, maybe I can find some blue gem. Because as of right now, I'm having no luck. Okay, it looks to be a cave system. Goes all the way down to bedrock. I think blue gem can spawn higher up, though. I just think it's not very common. And now that we've gotten to Neptune, I can actually start working on the main base. Oh, there's blue gem. Because if you recall, I said I wanted Neptune to kind of be our main, like, big space base, like, big spaceport kind of thing. So, that's going to be fun. I have a kind of cool idea. And I love the color of Neptune, honestly. I'm going to grab all this while I'm here, since I'm passing it. Okay. It is fairly low, I think. Yeah, there we go. I know. I see you guys. And I think that's good. I think I'm going to warp back now. Let's go back to Neptune. And we can set this thing up. Config, and let's say new filter, item stack. Grab Neptune. Oops, Neptune blue gem. Fuzzy mode, no. We'll save that. And let's go ahead and start this. Okay. I saw some pieces go through. So now let's set off and see if we can find a dungeon. These are fun to find. There's some frozen nitrogen. I wonder if this has any use at all. I don't think it does. Frozen nitrogen bricks, but... Okay, there's no use in particular for that. I was thinking I could set the miner, set it up with a filter to find that stuff, but there's really not a whole lot of use for it, I guess. Okay, I'll tell you what. We're gonna wait on that. I mean, I've been exploring all over the place, as you can tell. And just no luck. It's honestly like the hardest dungeon to find, easily. Because generally in my experience, like the nitrogen will cover the hole, so you can't see it just flying above. Oh, this is where I went down. I was like, what is this? So there's really no way to tell, like, flying over it, if there's a dungeon there. I have encountered certain times, rare occasions, and this was in the past. I mean, it's been a while, like I said, since I've done Extra Planets. But I know in the past there was a chance that you could possibly find it without liquid nitrogen covering the top. But it was rare. So, generally you have to fly around like this, like down in here. Or you have to look for mob spawns. Sometimes you can find it with mob spawns. I did check a few places that had a lot of mob spawning. But there was no dungeon. It was just, you know, just happened to be a lot of mob spawning in that area. So, I don't know. We'll, sometimes, like, when the water's like that, it'll be like a square. That's how you know the dungeon's there, but... that actually kind of rhymed. But, yeah, no luck. No luck so far. Trying to find one. But anyways, let's see. How many blue gems do we have at the moment? We have 62. Yeah, I'll tell you what. We're going to go ahead and warp back over to the overworld. And I'll tell you what. Instead of doing the crusher right this second, because right now the only way to double... Neptune blue gems is the crusher from Immersive Engineering. I do want to get that set up, but not just yet because we are having power issues to some extent. And, I mean, it wouldn't really impact it that much, but, I mean, with the digital miner, it's not a big deal. I can easily get, you know, more stacks of blue gems. So I think this first stack, we're just going to, I guess, straight smelt it, I think. Let's do that. There you go. And we'll get that smelting. And we'll get some Neptune blue gems. And these, let's see, what all are they used to make? We've got catalysts, blocks, draconic cores. That's the main thing that I want it for. We've also got these blue gem wafers, which are used with that. That's it. Only those two things. Okay, so really it's just draconic evolution. That's all blue gem is needed for. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Okay, so let's get those, and now we get to turn our attention towards draconic evolution. Awesome. Draconic cores, draconium ingots, blue gems. We're also going to need this glowing mangaloy. This requires mangaloy and then Zephyrian Orothium. Okay. And I don't believe that we have Zephyrian Orothium in our liquid setup right now. Or no, we do, don't we? I suddenly have the feeling that we do have it somewhere in here. Yeah. I think all we have at the moment is Cryothium and Tectonic Petrothium. But we need Zephyrian Orothium. Which really isn't a big deal to make that. Orothium dust, that's just blitz powder. I think we have blitz on spawn. Or, no, it's on farm. It's a crop seed, right? Let's see. No, we don't. Oh, man. This is going to be a little bit more interesting now. But sand with destabilized redstone will make it. That's fine. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and grab these blitz rods, though. And we'll get these pulverized, get ourselves some... I mean, honestly, I think I have enough for what I need today. And then once we get the... don't I have a pulverizer somewhere down here? No, I don't. Okay. They're probably all set up in the space base, actually. FPS on the overworld is so bad. It's so bad. Okay, I tell you what, we're going to break that off. Let's get ourselves just a energy conduit. And we'll get this stuff pulverized real quick. So that's 56. That's more than enough, honestly. And it was what? Orothium? Yes. So give me, like, one stack of that. We'll run this through the fluid transposer. I'm sorry, I'm not the fluid transposer, the magma crucible. There we go. We'll say fill. And then all we need is mangaloy, which I think I have that automated. Right? Yes. Give me like 100. How about missing rich slide? Is it really all going to the space place? Let me throw that in there. Oh my gosh, that is slow as Christmas. It's 5,000 millibuckets for each glowing... Oh my god, okay, yeah, we're gonna have to do something with mobs, I think. Honestly, I may have to go with the standard energy relays for right now. That's still going to take 3 of those, and each of these takes 4 glowing mangaloy. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. Okay, well I can make that with sand and redstone. Okay, well then what we're going to do is we're going to throw in a whole bunch of redstone blocks into this. And then let's get some sand. Throw that into there, and it's going to start making blitz powder for us. And what I'll do is I'll just make a whole bunch of this blitz powder. And we'll get then, you know, a whole bunch of Orothium. And then a bunch more mangaloy. I mean, I don't really need that much of it, honestly, but I do need quite a bit of it. Let me get another in magma crucible, I guess. Okay. There's another fluid transposer. And we'll just do a quick little setup. By the way, we're getting a ton of zinc. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Let me get a couple more conduits here. Right now, this is just going to be manual. And the reason I'm not going to worry about automating it is because very, very soon, once we get the base on Uranus done, we're going to have plenty of this stuff, so there's really no point in automating it. Fluid transposer, we'll say you can pull from that direction. Magma crucible, you can push out on that direction. Okay, so blitz powder, let me get some more sand. Get a couple more stacks of that. And our aerothium dust. It's kind of crazy because we're getting to the point where, like, we're approaching that part where we're getting into, like, dire crafting, and we're getting into draconic evolution and some of the big mods, big reactors, and it's kind of exciting, just a wee bit. Oh, this is basic. Why did I make basic? I wasn't paying attention to what machine frame it put in there. Oh my gosh. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. This is running very, very quickly, except for this part. Now, this fluid transposer is resonant. The magma crucible is basic. But even still, I mean, this fluid transposer is not quick handling it either. Okay, I'll tell you what. While we're waiting on that stuff to run, one thing I do want to get, just kind of for the sake of getting it more than anything at this point, is I want to get the information tablet. There we go. Knowledge to the max achievement. Awesome. And of course, this is basically the book for the mod and everything. And basically, I just want to check out a few things on here because honestly, I've gotten used to the 1.10 draconic evolution, and I'm kind of rusty on the 1.7 stuff at this point. But I'm kind of curious if I wanted to get, say, energy pylons. Those are going to take draconic cores. Particle generators take draconic cores. I'm sure the energy core, yeah, that takes wyvern cores. Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to let this run for just a bit at the moment. And how am I out? By the way, how am I out of slag? I should have plenty of rich slag, I would have thought. Because I was producing it, yeah, right here. So that means I'm going through so much rich slag in my system that it's actually just eating through every bit of it. Cool. I imagine the ender chest, though, probably has a bunch. Okay, for right now, I just broke off that conduit because I'm going to need this rich slag. A bit of it. I'm just going to pull all of it out of here. The ore processing system can wait. I will say that between this episode and next, well, I don't know. I might do it on camera. We might really overhaul rich slag since we're using that much. I didn't realize we were using that much rich slag. But it does make sense because of our induction furnace, and I'm going to have to move quickly, I think, because, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm going to need a lot more of that. Gosh, okay. But I'm going to want a bunch of this mangalloy. Let's say, can I make 200? Yes. So it's going to cost 1,600 steel, 200 rich slag. Awesome. Okay. Anyways, there's a bunch of that. And now, honestly, with 200 of that, I should be able to reconnect this. That's going to be enough to keep us running on mangalloy for a bit. And then what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to basically expand this setup. One induction smelter. Why is it not running right now? Why is it not getting redstone? That's the problem right there. It's not actually being fed redstone. You know what it is? I know what it is now. The redstone is now in a drawer, in a deep storage unit. That's why it's not how do I want to do this? I guess I'm just going to get an ender chest and we'll do an export bus for right now. Basically, I've got to redo all of my ender chests, and originally I was waiting on, getting that import room sorted, right, and because I'm planning on moving all of the, like, exporting ender chests, importing ender chests and stuff into that room that's right down there. I just haven't had the time to actually get this set up, so that's my fault. I guess we'll add it right here to the ender chest pile, basically. Oops. Oh yeah, let me actually go ahead and color this. And we'll put an export. Let me actually get a piece of redstone here. That's why we're not actually making rich slag at the moment. Honestly, it should. I don't know if it'll keep up right now with how much rich slag we're actually using. Let me get maybe a couple acceleration cards. 2 should be fine. There we go. Okay, so rich slag production should be back online. So we shouldn't have any problems. Hopefully, I'm going to watch it. We may have to increase production of that, but it's not. That fleeting wisp is actually getting on my nerves at the moment. And we're going to have to automate this whole process very, very soon, actually. But anyways, moving on, at least for right this second. Let's see, we've got that. Now to make what I want to make, there's a couple things that I want to make. First up, I want the energy core. This is going to take wyvern energy cores and draconic cores. Tell you what, I'm actually curious about something. If I grab this nether star seed, because we're going to need nether stars, and oh gosh, the sheer amount of this mangaloid that I need is just crazy right now. This is that's 2, that's 4, 6, and another star to get the energy core, plus pylons, plus particle generators, and then advanced energy relays. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is actually probably going to take a little while to do this. Yeah, this is going to take... It takes so much erothium. Like, it's just ridiculous how much of this that we actually need. Because, like, a stack of blitz powder really doesn't go all that far. Let me order, like, another 100 redstone blocks here. Okay. I'll put hoppers on these just so it can dump the stuff in there. Because I've still got to craft. I mean, I don't have all this fully automated and stuff, but at least get that mangaloid being created at a semi-decent pace. Should dump that into there. Okay, now we're going to need a couple nether stars today. There's one thing that I want to say. I think we can actually do this. Because I know whenever I was testing this before, what is it called? It was a long, long time ago. I tested it, and it worked. It was right here, fertile potions. These take fertile essence, water, dandelion yellow, cactus green. They're not that expensive. Let me get a bucket. And let me actually order a bit more of this fertile essence. And I'll grab like a sink. The lag in this area is so bad. And I tell you what, since I've got this on me, let's go ahead and get as many draconic cores as we can. That. There's 6. Okay. It's not a bad start. Let me actually get crop sticks as well. Okay, I apologize. My hard drive filled up, and my overlay gives me, it's like at the top right corner, and it was telling me that it was filled, but I didn't notice it, because it's like a little symbol, and I don't ever pay attention to the top right of my corner. But, so I do apologize about that. Basically, all you guys missed was, I got draconium blocks crafted. I'll show you how I did that, but the fertile essence, or the fertile potions, it's kind of an exploit, I guess, but it does in fact work. What I did was our nether star seeds, I planted them here, and of course it says it cannot grow here because it needs awakened draconium to grow. However, these fertile potions, I can just throw them and get nether star essence that way. So that does in fact work. Also, I've got a bunch of erothium crafted. I'm still crafting mangaloy at the moment. There's 6 more pieces. Throw that into there. This stuff is so expensive. It's ridiculous. Also, I crafted the parts that we needed for our draconic energy core thing. Okay, that's running again. Basically, the energy core... no, not that. Particle generators, these just take draconic cores, blaze rods, redstone. Not too bad. And then the energy core, this takes the wyvern core, nether star, 4 draconic cores, and then wyvern energy cores. So we got all that stuff crafted up. And then over here, draconium blocks. I set up a bunch more casting basins. I pretty much used all the seared stone bricks that we had at the moment. And I've changed this over thanks to you guys' comments, and I've got gasoline, or fuel. It's actually fuel, but I've just got a drum of gasoline here. So, for example, if I take like a stack of draconium and I throw this in here, it's done. It's so fast. So fast. So we've got pretty much everything now that we need to set up our energy storage multi-block. So I knew I was needing to clean that out, my hard drive, soon, because, you know, all the recordings and stuff build up pretty quickly. Because basically where I've got the recordings going, it's like a terabyte allocated just for them. But a lot of these recordings, like, for example, a single episode, an hour plus what I edit out, you're talking like around 20 gigs per recording, and it fills up so quickly, like when you're not paying attention to it. And like speed builds and stuff like that take even more, and I apologize. Usually I clean it out like once every couple weeks, so it doesn't get filled, but it slipped my mind over the weekend. Apologize. But basically, we're going to set up our energy core. I'm going to bring this up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 that we have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 8th block. Let's see. 2, 3, 5, 6. Right? Let me see. It's been a while since I've done this. Like the 1.7 one. Let's see. It's 328 redstone, 218 draconium. So let me get exactly that much. Let's see. It's the block comes out 1, comes out 2, comes out 3, comes out 4. From the core. 4. And then the top. Okay, so I'll tell you what. We're going to put the energy core actually one higher. We'll have it a little bit raised. That goes there. And then we'll go ahead and just remove all this cobblestone. And then we'll plot all this out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there we go. And then we get to use our wand. That. Okay. So there's most of it done now. And then what I need to do is I just need to bring this out Basically, all of these need to be built out like this. And I find that having the exact amount of redstone is useful because of the fact that I tend to miss something. Like, it always seems to happen that way. And I still wish that Draconic Evolution, there was a way to just, like, have all the resources and just have it built. It would make life so much easier. And then we're going to go ahead and bring that out. Bring that down. That. That. And then we just have to do these parts. That. And then the one on the other side. We should have just enough redstone that this works. Okay. So there we go. That's the redstone part of it done. And then we just have to pretty much case it in draconium. It's like 218, I think, draconium? Yeah, 218. And then we'll just case all this. I'm going to start with the ends here. Like that. By the way, I figured out how to put up the companion pet. It's right here, accessories, and you can grab your companion and unequip him. I tend to hate companions. They get on my nerves. Because they just get in the way. And it's really that way with about every game. I think the only game that I've ever played where I'm like, okay, I like the companion in this game is Shadow of the Colossus. The horse. I like the horse on there. That's about it. Just never been a fan of companions in games. And honestly, probably the worst companion that I can think of in a game ever was Resident Evil. On Resident Evil 4. Which I will say that I'm not... I used to like Resident Evil when I was a kid. Like the early ones and stuff. But I was always more of like a Silent Hill type kid. I liked that a lot more. I will say that the most recent one, when I played the demo for that, you know, I did that little mini-series on it. And I had high hopes for it. But then, of course, when it came out, it was like actually really short, and it wasn't quite as creepy or as dark as they originally showed, and it just... I'm just not big on Resident Evil anymore. I guess I've outgrown it. It's too much action, I guess. I know a lot of people like Resident Evil. If you guys like Resident Evil, you know, it's nothing. We've got 1, 2 loose pieces. Okay. It's just I'm not a huge fan of it anymore. And then we have extras, and I think these go right here, right? Like right there, there, and there, and then on the top, like that. Okay. And now, let's say the center, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we'll go 6, 7, 8, 9. And I think the 10th block could be the core, or the pylon, right? I'm sorry, the generator. So put that like right there. Break that off. Then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, that. Put that on there. And I have some ideas on how I'm going to connect this thing up. I don't know if I'll do like something similar, not the same design, but something to the effect maybe of what I did in my Direwolf series or something like that. But we'll make it look good in here and everything. Originally I was thinking we'd do 2 of these in this room, but they're not going to fit. We are going to have more of these once everything's said and done, but invalid configuration. I love how it fails to tell you what is invalid, but maybe it needs the energy pylons. Let me check. Must be directly in line with the core, as shown in the following images. Must be placed within 10 blocks of the core. The core is then surrounded by a combination. Blah, blah. Simply shift right click one of the particle generators. It may be because I didn't... Honestly, I'll bet you it's because I didn't have these in line of sight first, maybe. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove some of this stuff so that they can see the core. Actually replace this stuff. And we will get into the mechanism power storage, but I do want to do draconic and mechanism both. And I figured, well, we'll go ahead and start with draconic. It's not the cheapest thing, but we're going to be doing energy transfer with draconic evolution, so, you know, starting today. So I figured we'd go ahead and start this. It's funny because we haven't unlocked the draconic evolution part of the quest tab as of yet, so. Now it says it's a tier 7. Let me actually break one of these off, replace it, and then I'll go ahead and just fill these back in. Hopefully this works. If not, I'm going to scream because everything is correct in this, from what I can tell. Because you don't have to put the energy pylons down until after it's built, so at least from what I recall. Alright, awesome. Good stuff. Do these maybe need to be placed the other direction, maybe? I don't know. Cool, this is awesome. Because everything is set up right. Maybe they need to be closer in. Maybe 10 blocks. Okay. Funny story. Project Ozone is super sneaky. Apparently, I don't know if maybe in the quest tab it mentions this. I would hope so, because this is great. This part here, the draconium part, this has to be made out of carbon blocks. So yeah, this isn't even right at all. The redstone part, from what I read, it's the same thing. You know, it's still gonna be redstone, but we have to do carbon on the exterior. So it's a lot of carbon. I hate this draconic book. It's so buggy because it like duplicates all the entries every time you exit, and then you can't use the scroll bar anytime you reopen it. But yeah, so we're talking 218 carbon blocks. And as of right now, I only have like 50 ingots of carbon. Oh man, this is going to be fun. It's going to be so much fun. Okay. Okay, I tell you what. Give me a few hours to... Oh, this episode's going to be coming out late. I apologize. Give me a few hours. I'm going to... Basically, I'm just going to run the digital miner through, get a bunch of carbon built up. Carbon's on... Where is carbon at? Is it Jupiter? Okay, it's on Venus. Alright, so give me just a bit. I'm going to run the digital miner through Venus, and I'm also going to keep making draconic cores. And I'm going to automate glowing mangaloid, but I think what I'm going to do, I was kind of giving it some thought, and honestly I might even do it now, since I'm going to be waiting for that stuff to all run through the ore quintupling system. I may do it right now. I'm going to go out and look for cows. I think. And there is an Erothium cow. I'm fairly certain. There's always been Erothium cows in every pack I've ever played. So, while that stuff's running through the ore quintupling system, I will see if I can find Erothium cows. And then if we do find Erothium cows, then we'll automate it. You know, it depends on if I can find Erothium cows or not as to how I end up automating it. We shall see. I'm not 100% sure. Has this already got carbon in the config? I'm not for sure. But anyways, I will be back in a bit. It's capital Venus. I'll be back in a bit once I have a whole lot of carbon. Alrighty, at long last we are back. we've got all the carbon that we need, and it's still mining up carbon. I figure I'm going to need more of that. Might as well mine it. Because I am going to want to set up more of these, I think, even though the cost is kind of expensive. A little bit expensive. And in here, I actually went fluid cow hunting, and it actually didn't take me as long as I expected. But I did come across a molten fairy cow, which I don't think we have that yet. Let me double check, but we do not have a molten fairy cow. And I also did find a Zephyrian Orothium cow. So I figured I'd grab both of those. Let me get a couple drums here. We are missing bedrockium. Okay, that's fine, because I haven't actually plugged up the space station yet, and I imagine we probably have some compressed cobble over here, because this thing's like been running. I've been stealing a lot of compressed cobble from it to yeah, I'll grab a couple of them. We got 3 more. I've been grabbing compressed cobble basically between every few episodes or something, and working on the bedrock stuff down here. So actually, right before I started recording this episode, I had just done some more. You can see we've actually got a fair amount of these done. They're definitely coming along. But anyways, let's go ahead and turn this into bedrockium. Go ahead and grab those blue gems as well. We'll go ahead and turn this into bedrockium ingots. These will be used for drums. And I want to go ahead and get those cows going. And that way I'm done with Zephyrian Orothium. And we'll automate that whole system probably next episode, honestly. But for right now, let's see. How is all of this? It's been a while since I've added any fluid to this, honestly. Let me get just 2 ender fluid conduits. And we'll just set this up. There we go. And I can't get out of this. Awesome. So first up, I'm going to put them down like right here. Oh, gosh, I can't. Okay. Well, the molten fairy one's going to go right here. I'm just going to add it to the to this. We'll say bring this over. Molten fairy. And then over here, we'll do Zephyrian. And I imagine these are probably going to harvest from this and then lock up. Oh, it's got adamantine in it. Do I not have molten adamantine going anywhere at the moment? I do. But the drum's full. Okay. Okay, I'll sort this later because it's all kinds of jank. I don't know. I'm assuming plant oil is full. I may just have to do like a fluid trash can. Yeah, plant oil's full. I'll have to give that some thought. I'm not for sure how I want to handle that. Anyways, we've got Zephyrian Orothium in there. Let me grab a bucket of that. It's most important. Fairy isn't quite as important. So what I'm going to do for right now is I'm just going to break this off. And I'll set up the filter real quick. Okay. So that's all sorted now. And it should be able to get Zephyrian Orothium. Yeah, we've got 6,000 millibuckets now. Okay. So that's going to help us out moving forward with the Mangaloy. So we'll probably automate that next episode. Anyways, we've got our carbon. Let's go ahead and head on over to Jupiter. And let's get this thing all set up now. At long last. Hopefully this works. If it doesn't, I'm going to scream. Just for the record. There's going to be a lot of screaming. Because I'd like to get my new power system up and going. Honestly, it would be nice to have it. But I've been waiting. I've been holding out on getting power transfer and power storage and all that good stuff set up. Honestly, I've never seen a pack change the draconic energy storage multi-block. Like, that's just crazy. Apparently it's a config option. I just never knew it existed. You know, quite a surprise actually for me. Because I was messing with this thing forever, trying to figure out, like, why is this not working? Because I just thought, well, maybe I'm rusty on these because I've been, you know, I've been on 1.10 for so long. And, I mean, even though I've been playing Project Ozone, you know, I haven't really been doing any draconic evolution in 1.7. Let's try this. No, what? You lie. This is actually extremely irritating. It's not carbon. Carbon replaces the redstone. So I need, like, a bunch of carbon to replace all the redstone. And the exterior, instead of draconium, it's bedrock. It's bedrock. Are you serious? Like, okay. This is not happening. Not this episode. Not for a while. This is not going to happen. Because that's a lot of bedrock. That is just an astronomical amount of bedrock. I feel like I have wasted this entire episode. Like, there's nothing... I wish they would have told somewhere... I mean, maybe it's in this. Like, here's the thing. Like, I'm looking through here, and there's nothing on here that says, like, oh, well, all the blocks are different. Which is it's honestly kind of annoying that I have wasted this entire time doing this. And there's nothing in the quest book about it. And, like, I know you can look in the configs and see, that's great. But the thing is, I don't go through every single mod and check the configs to make sure. Oh, my God. Okay. Well, anyways, this isn't going to happen. It's not going to happen. I mean, I could probably pull off the carbon. Realistically, I think it's like 300. I've got like 200. I've got 163 carbon at the moment. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have to put that on the back burner. The draconic energy storage multi-block is not going to happen. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to postpone the world upload until next episode. Because I want to figure out, I've got to figure out exactly how I want to do the power. I spent all this time thinking, like, oh, draconic storage multi-block. And apparently, I've noticed on the forums and stuff, a lot of people are apparently had that issue. Like, ran into that, and it's like, oh, this doesn't work. But yeah, it's carbon in place of redstone, and it's bedrock in place of draconium. Oh, man. Okay, well, we're up to 57 glowing mangaloid. There's one other thing I would like to do. Okay, first up, next episode then, we're going to work on mechanism, because we could do the induction matrix, and realistically, it's a lot more powerful than the draconic energy multi-block. I just figured we'd do the draconic energy multi-block. It seemed like a logical stepping stone, and then move into the induction matrix, because, you know, it's better. I don't understand why the draconic energy storage multi-block is so expensive in this pack. Because, I mean, you couldn't even make, like, a tier 2 with it. Without, you know, a bunch of bedrock. And the thing is, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me, because induction matrix, like, next episode we could have something more powerful than the draconic storage. I don't understand why it's so expensive on here. It makes no sense. Because, like, the solar neutron activator is not any more expensive, really. HDPE sheet, that's PRC, substrate. I mean, none of this stuff's that bad. We will have to get into lithium production, but we've already got the infrastructure needed for that. But that's why we're going to wait till next episode to do that, because I'm going to have to prep a whole bunch of enriched alloys. It's going to take a lot, you know, to get our induction matrix started, because I'm planning on building it at least decent sized. I don't know if we'll go for more powerful than draconic storage multi-block right out the gate. Probably not, but we'll see. It depends on how much enriched alloys and stuff I get crafted up for that. But just so that I feel like we've done at least something productive other than just going to Neptune this episode. I've got Mangaloy here, and what I've done, I've just got, this is just temporary, but I've got the ender tank. Let me actually get more Mangaloy. Because I don't have speed upgrades in this, it's not, semi-automatic is fine for right now, and in a couple episodes we'll fully automate it. But I've just got an ender tank connected to this tank here that's pulling in the Zephyrian Nerothium as soon as it comes in the system, and then it's going to make Mangaloy. But we are going to get ourselves 16 draconic cores. Or 19. That's fine too. We'll get 16 of those. And then I want to get that dragon heart that we got a long time ago. We'll grab that. We'll grab TNT, redstone torch, and then we're going to need some draconium blocks. 4 of those. I think they're getting like different levels of charge. Yeah, that's what's happening. And we're going to get these 4 all charged up. There we go. 4 charged draconium blocks. That's awesome. And then let me get some kind of explosion-proof thing. We'll just get some obsidian. That'll be fine. And we will automate the production of awakened draconium as well. A little bit later on. Let me actually build this out a little bit more because I don't want this stuff to fall through the void once we craft it. Oh, recording this episode has actually been extremely frustrating for me. It has been extremely frustrating because, like, I just can't understand why it would be so expensive to make that. Like, it's just energy storage. Like, I don't know. There we go. That's activated. We'll go ahead and set down our draconium blocks. Throw down all of our draconic cores. And go. There we go. Awakened draconium. Haha. Alright. And now, technically, we could plant our nether star seeds. Because I would like to start getting those, like, actually bred up. You know, it's 10-10-10s. Because that's really the only crop that we have not gotten to a 10-10-10. And I would like to... Now that I think about it, I don't even think I need water next to this. I'm going to use 3 of those for that. Let me go ahead and grab that. Oh, wait, it's dirt above it, isn't it? Yes. Okay. That's fine. I'll set it up in here. I need that's where I'm storing singularities right now, because singularities take a ton of bytes. If you try to store them inside of that, I don't even know that they are storable. So I'm storing them in a chest at the moment. Okay, we're just going to set this up. This is just temporary, you know, placement, but that way it's kind of close at hand. I can check it a lot. And because I'm not back in the farm area, like, at all anymore. Yeah, it can be farmland or it can be blocks of iron, anything like that, to plant this. So, well, this is what I do. I could make a better hoe. I don't use hoes all that much. Let me get some crop sticks. We'll get this planted. Now it cannot grow here. Okay. Oh, you know what it is? I have night vision, and I bet it's the lighting. I'll go ahead and order a lily pad of fertility. And we'll just set that down just to speed up this process. But anyways, I'll work on... Because I imagine this can crossbreed. Yes, it can crossbreed. Awesome. So now we have 2 nether star seeds. I'm sure that's a 1-1-1, so Okay, well, I'll work on getting those grown. I mean, we have 3 awakened draconium. I wish... I'm not for sure what we need right now to unlock Lambda. And we've had this... pretty much this quest done for so long. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to work on breeding those, and I'll see if I can... I'll look and find out what we need to unlock that quest line. But next episode, we're going to be working with Mechanism. We will finish out that PRC quest. Like this one right here, because we're going to have to get that to make those, like, those pellet things. Now, since we have some Awakened Draconium right now, one thing we could do, I think, depending... Let me see. The Dire Crafting Table takes... Okay, it takes 4 Awakened Cores. We're almost here. We have the Awakened Draconium. Oh, yeah, I'll need to kill the Ender Dragon one more time to do it. Unless I don't do my Nether Star Seeds. What I'll probably do is have 2 Nether Star Seeds going and grab that other piece of Awakened Draconium so we can get that pretty soon. Okay, but I mean, at least we got Awakened Draconium this episode. And we went to Neptune. And got to rage at Draconic Evolution Storage Multi-Block. We did get a little bit into Draconic Evolution, so I guess there's that. But with that, I'm going to end the episode because it's about wrapping up point. Next episode, when we come back, we will focus down Mechanism, the PRC, get into the induction matrix, get some... Because, I mean, technically I could store the power in these vibrant capacitor banks. I mean, I've got 9 billion energy storage, which isn't terrible. But, I mean, it's also kicking on and on. I mean, I would just... I don't know. I'd rather have a big storage because we're getting into big stuff. So I think we're going to go with the induction matrix next episode. I can go another episode without power. And honestly, I could bump up because I've got 65,000 zinc right now. So I could add some more solar panels too. We will be upgrading those and automating that whole thing fairly soon. Because right now we're automated up to tier 6s. I've got 25 of those right now. And I mean, these are producing 8,000 a piece. So that's not bad, but between episodes, I'm going to build out another area within the power base because I didn't build it out yet because I spent the whole time working on getting ready for Draconic Energy Multi-Block. That didn't quite work out, so I'll build another area out for the induction matrix. I think long term, I've got to do some testing with this pack because I know in certain packs and in certain situations, an 18 by 18 by 18 induction matrix is kind of laggy. That's the worst thing. A lot of the Mechanism stuff, I love Mechanism. Don't get me wrong, it's probably one of my favorite tech mods. But it can be a little bit laggy. But since we're doing the multiple dimension thing, it may not be too bad, honestly. So I will build out a room for that once I figure out exactly the size that I want to go with on that. And then next episode, whenever we come back, we'll set that up. We'll get that up and going. And then we'll plug up our reactor, get that running, get our turbines running. And we might even craft the Dire Crafting Table. Because really, with the Mangaloy running, we should have plenty of that by next episode to do that. And I'll try to get the 10-10-10 crops, because I mean, I've got a lot of stuff at my disposal to make this stuff grow really, really fast if I want to. So I may try to get these up and going and build out an area for these to go. So we can start getting nether stars. Honestly, I might set this up, because with us moving into singularities soon, we're probably going to be setting up a dimension dedicated to farming, because I can't build it all in the overworld. Otherwise, this would be so laggy. Like, basically, this farm, this was good up until now, but we need to go much bigger with farms. Like, much bigger. However, I wanted to give you guys the question. Since we're coming up on this stuff, we're coming up on Project E, we're coming up on Avaridia. We're coming up on the need for singularities and all this stuff. Personally, I'm not a huge Project E fan. However, I will say that within this pack, it makes a little bit more sense because, you know, it's late progression. It takes a lot to get into, and there's actually a need for Project E, but I feel like most packs, they throw Project E in, and there's no point to it. It just makes the pack creative mode, and that's something I don't really care for. But within this pack, do you guys... I know Real KC suggested that we could do both. So if you guys want me to do both, I can do both, or, you know, it just depends. But do you want me to do Project E in this pack for things like the singularities, you know, getting into this stuff? Do we want to use Project E and actually use the EMC to make things easier, or do we want to do just really large setups to produce a lot of this stuff? Because, I mean, like, for example, as we approach diacrafting, like, there's plutonium singularities. This takes 43,650 blocks of plutonium. Cyanite, 43,974. We've got yellorium. I mean, there's, like, everything in here. This is why we're going to have to bump up farming. Charcoal is actually something that concerns me because we have 28 charcoal blocks. God, I need to do something for that very, very soon. But do you guys want me to use Project E extensively, or do you want me to build big setups for the production of stuff for the singularities? Because we could do it either way. We could do a no EMC run, or we could do an EMC run and do kind of a combination of both. Or just produce the EMC and not really do anything. I don't know. You know, if you guys have a preference, let me know. And I'll take it into consideration. I'm honestly giving it a lot of thought right now, like what I want to do moving forward as we approach diacrafting. Because it's pretty much we're moving into like the serious part of the game, I think, or the serious part of the pack. Everything up until this point has been preparatory for this point. But I'm going to try to, before next episode, I'm going to try to spend a lot of time on this pack and actually build, because there's so many building projects I need to be working on this pack. So I'm going to try to get a bit of building done between this episode and next. I was wanting to wait until we had power, but Draconic Evolution has frustrated the life out of me this episode. So, but yeah, anyways, we're going to end it here. Next episode, Mechanism, and we'll finally get all this stuff plugged up. The world upload will be postponed until next episode, just so this stuff is sorted and set up for you guys in case you're curious. And yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I do apologize we didn't get more done. It was an experience, though. It was Project Ozone at its best. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope to see you guys next time. If you guys did enjoy it, be sure and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay up to date with when new videos come out. And I hope you guys have a wonderful 4th of July and everything. I know this video is probably going to be coming out on the 4th of July, just because it took forever to record this video. Like, it took forever working on this stuff. So, anyways, I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you then.